Hi, how are y'all doing? So, before I get into this review, I quickly just want to point out, and so I want to point out one thing. I talked about this last video at the very, very end, and I just wanted to bring it up at the beginning of this video, just in case some people don't watch the last few seconds or whatever. But, so there are like scammers in my comments impersonating me, so just be aware of that. I don't have a Telegram, I don't have a WhatsApp. I I do not have any way of contacting me any other than through the comments. So if someone says reach out to me and it has my profile picture or it says Penguin Trades and it's a scam. So far there's been I think 6 or 7 separate accounts that have all been impersonating me, and I remove them pretty fast, but they're getting more sophisticated because how it used to be was I could remove the user from channel and then it would immediately hide all their comments. But this last one, it would not do that. I would do hide user from channel. It would only delete the one comment, and I would refresh it, make sure, and the comments were there. So basically, they're just replying to people, trying to get them into some sort of scam or whatever. But yes, But yeah, so just be aware of that. I am definitely not going to comment asking people to reach out to a phone number or a WhatsApp or a Telegram or anything like that. So, yes, just please be aware. Make sure that and I'm sure none of y'all are going to fall for it, but obviously people do fall for it because people do the scam, and no one's going to do a scam that no one falls for. So, my account will say Penguin Trades, and it'll be circled in that gray, and in the gray outline, it should have a gray outline on the creator of the videos. So, in the comments. So yeah, just please be aware of that. I'm sure none of y'all are gonna fall for it anyway, but I just wanted to point it out. So, anyway, let's get into this. This is gonna be a fast review. I have some things I gotta go do. But I'm just gonna go through this pretty quick. So I drew my overnight lows here, my overnight highs here. I did end up thinking they fit a little bit better here. So just as more price action form, because this is at 8:30, and I know it didn't come back into play here, but just realistically, this is a range day. It looks a little bit better there. I could have lowered it there sooner, but I left it here for a pretty good portion of the day. So I started trading around this area. I'm not going to go through this price action just because I need to go fast, but I was in this downtrend. I saw that we got this correction here. I do see that it's a second entry by the tick, but realistically, this is just a move down and then one sharp move up. To me, that just looks like a first entry, and then it couldn't reach the lows of this channel, so I was a little bit worried about going short, considering it's a first entry, a big picture first entry. I do still see that it's a second entry, but it didn't reach the lows. That means we could be losing bearish momentum. Also, we closed above and also above the EMA, and just all things considered, it's just not a very good looking entry at all. And so we also could expect an attempt higher for this uptrend break, attempt higher before moving lower, and so that could also stop you out. So there's a lot of things wrong with this trade, but so we're in this downtrend. We have a break, attempt lower, we form this double bottom, we push higher, we go into this uptrend, we have a break, new high, we retrace to the EMA, we're in this short downtrend, and then no entry, just a first entry. It could have a break, make a new low, get stopped out. We push higher with this leg. This is really just one leg up here, I see. And then we make this new high, we push lower. Once again, it's just a first entry after a new high. There's no possible way of entering this safely, at least by the way that I trade. So then we push higher again, and then at this point we just start getting congestive between the overnight low and the EMA. So you really wouldn't want to. It's just starting to get congestive. There's not a good setup there, certainly. You'd have to just enter into this double top right here where it's clearly finding resistance. So I just, 1-to-1 on this entry right here wouldn't be so bad, because you can kind of just expect to reach these breakouts here, or not breakouts, but fades back in, because clearly it's resisting there, but it's piercing through a little bit. So it's not like the worst entry, but it's certainly terrible for 1-to-2 in my opinion. Of course, even though in hindsight you do see it makes that there's no way that you would know that. So I don't see a good entry there. We make this new high, we retrace again. We have this little congestion, we break out. Most breakouts fail. You have this uptrend. You don't have a break and an attempt higher. I don't see a good short there. You push lower, and also you're in a fade area, so I'd be worried about it holding and then end up fading this overnight. So anyway, then we push lower. Of course, I didn't have this range at the time. I got this range after this double bottom, and then I put it up there. I saw the EMA was flat, so at this point, once we started moving up, there's no way that you can enter long here because it's not based off of anything. It's just a downtrend, and then it reverses very suddenly. But, it moves up. It finds resistance at the overnight lows again. You have this uptrend break, new high, and then it has a tiny reversal before reversing back higher again. So, because even at this point, you do still have this range. You can definitely expect it to get up there, and then you have this uptrend break, first attempt, and then it does end up making this big picture second attempt, reaching these highs. But and so yeah, at this point, you could technically look to fade this range, but it's just not a very good area. One, I'd be worried about shorting back into this thing. It's clearly finding resistance off of it many times. So I would just be worried about that. And, I do see that it has two legs up here, and then you can kind of, anyway, I got to keep getting through this because I got to go. But we make this new high here. We have a couple legs up. We retrace. And this area I was looking for long because you're getting a clear breakout pullback. And, of course, this channel here I drew after we got this swing here. But we have a downtrend, we have a break, we have a first attempt lower. Nothing. I don't want to enter on the first attempt lower just because we could get a second attempt and it is still a range. We could fade. It's not a very good looking setup anyway. But yeah, so then we get this. So downtrend break, first attempt lower, second attempt lower, and then failure. So I marked this area. I couldn't get in on this trade. I really wish I did set up better. Maybe closed right there instead of up there. But downtrend has a break, two attempts at a new low. Clearly you have this working up here. You can definitely have it in time. I got it in time, but I still I didn't want to enter on that. It also seemed like you had these two legs up here, and it's like yeah, two legs up already. It is off the key entry point. It's not like you really got this far into the channel anyway. I was kind of concerned about it not holding anyway. So it's really just not the best entry, but the context isn't that bad. It's it is the second attempt to make a new low for this downtrend, failing off a key entry point. So, it's really not that bad. But then here, this is where I get my first trade over here. And so let me just show the context of it. We faded back in. We're in this uptrend. And then here, it ended up holding again. And so I only went for 1-to-1 because we were into the overnight highs. I wasn't scared of it going a little bit into the overnight highs because we did pierce through it, and I was pretty confident it'll probably go a couple ticks out. But we have a second entry long off the key entry point, and also I deleted this, but I was also viewing it as a breakout of this range. So most breakouts fail. Two legs down. Let me see. You have that break, new low, and then also draw the short-term trend line there. It closes out of all the short-term trend lines. So I thought it was worth it. So I still didn't want to even try to go to those highs though, which maybe I should have done that, but because we did pierce through. But anyway, 2.5 points. I do think that 1-to-1 was the appropriate target there. So anyways, after that, we get these shallow corrections. We don't quite reach the EMA. And then we get this correction, which does reach the EMA. You would really want a higher low because you'd want an attempt lower. And really what I would want is a break, new low off the key entry point. But, at this point, it is consistently not reaching the highs. Although it does seem like possibly, what if you start it from here and end up drawing it? That actually looks better. Yeah. Damn, I wish I got that in time. But anyway, so Oh, whoops. So yeah, now we're in this uptrend here, which when I saw it, I kept it there, unfortunately. But I do think that this is better. This is just a spike in channel now that I look at it. But either way, it got me to the same place. So we have this uptrend. We have a break. Attempt to make a new high. It does go above the EMA, immediately closes back below. So it does start to reverse down early. That apparently that was enough for it to turn back down. But I do see this range here. I mean, you didn't really need to draw it because, I mean, clearly it was never that strong anyway. It was just a couple swings and then it just pushed lower. But so we're going into this downtrend here. We have a break. Or I am running out of time. Okay, I think I'm going over because I'm very limited on time right now. So I think I'm just gonna go over it a little bit faster. So we push lower here into this downtrend. We have a break, new low. We go into this range. We have these highs, lows. I got the range very early. I got the range based just off of this double bottom and this resistance right here. And so I got this. Now I just want to quickly point out I did not enter straight away on that bar because I was considering we did get a double bottom higher than these lows over here. So it could end up being a bottoming pattern, and then we immediately rushed above the EMA. And so what I did was I wanted more bearish confirmation. So let me just move this out of the way. I waited for this red bar to close, and then I waited for it to tick lower, and then I ended up getting filled on a limit order on the stop entry. So that's how I entered this trade. But I just want that to be clear. I did not want to enter above the EMA in this particular case because I was concerned of it making a bottoming pattern, which right after I got this trade, it does form a bottoming pattern, which it forms one of the most common bottoming patterns, which is, a bounce higher than the previous low that is relative in size to it, and then you get the double bottom and then the failed breakout. So a breakout, most breakouts failed. That's one of the most common bottoming patterns is the double bottom, breakout, reversal. So anyway, then we push into this uptrend here, got him off those lows. I didn't want to enter into what I was pretty confident was strong resistance. So, because it kept reacting off of it, and then it reacted off of it here, bounced right off of it. I was not willing to buy into it, but realistically, I think I probably should have bought there. And I'm not just saying that because I see that it won. I'm saying that because it is off the key entry point, third confirming bounce, and you could expect a fade. So realistically, I kind of just froze up on that entry. I should have entered on it. You got the bottoming pattern and then it reversing. Really that looks pretty good to me. So I kind of just missed out there. But anyway, so we're in this uptrend. We have a break. Let me just... All right, so uptrend, we have this break, and on a short picture, we have a couple attempts higher, like uptrend break, first attempt higher, second attempt higher, failure, but then it ends up working. But really, on a big picture, all this is uptrend, break, and then this is the leg higher. So uptrend, break, first attempt higher, made the new high. It went into this congestion right here, this range, at the overnight highs. And, of course, I did not have this uptrend yet at that time. And... sorry, I'm getting out of breath. I'm going really fast. We're in this range. We break out of the overnight highs and this range. We fade lower. You definitely don't get a setup there. It's just... I mean, you do get that overshoot. If you had gotten like a smaller bar with enough room to get a good risk to reward to the lows, it would have been better, but... I just didn't want to enter in that. That just seemed too big. I mean, we did get the overshoot, though, so that's something. That's telling you something. But now you got two legs down off these lows. I thought that this looked pretty decent, but that was in hindsight because I did not see it in real time. But really, I don't think it would have been bad to try to ride this to the highs because even though you are off these overnight highs, you still have the bullish bias. It's clearly holding in this range. It wouldn't be bad to try to test the highs. Definitely not 1 to 2 trade there, but That really doesn't look too bad. I mean, you also got the 2 legs down. The entry closes outside of this short-term trend line. It's really not bad looking. And then we push higher. We go into this range. And then I need to turn the AC on. It's like getting really hot, especially when talking this fast. And then say we push lower. This is a sign of a bullish imbalance because we're still in what's clearly the range. I mean, we had this breakout, it faded back in, but which I'm gonna lower this here because I believe it's there. But it's still resisting off of it. And then we do fade back in, and then we get and then it bounces here. So we just keep getting higher highs. So that's a bullish imbalance inside of this overnight range. But anyway, then we get this higher low, which you don't want to take. You don't want to take a higher low that's below the EMA, especially if you don't have much room to the highs anyway. And then, but you do make the second leg up. And then you have a couple legs down. You bounce early, go back above. So that's even more confirmation of the bullish imbalance. We start to hold in this range right here, and then we break out. Most breakouts fail, which we do have this bullish imbalance, but let me try to draw something else here. Yeah, it does hold a third time there. I mean, this kind of looks like that channel I drew at first, where I ended up, where it was like that, but then I ended up thinking it was here. But you know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, I didn't see anything good there. We got the breakout. I didn't want to short. It just looks so bullish anyway. But we do push lower. We get this lower high. You know, it's just a first entry. You don't get a break. You don't get a break in an attempt higher, so there's really no way that you can enter that. Well, technically, oh, it looked like you did. It looked like it ticked higher there, so I thought I'd mention it. It almost looked like a trap, but it's not. So we have a couple legs down. It gets congestive at this point. It's just chopping, you know, higher. It's slowly going lower. There's no setups here, and you know, now it looks like we're trying to go higher again. We get this. This is like here. You can also look at it like this. It's kind of harder to see, but like you have this leg down, and then you get this leg down, which it doesn't reach it. But even though you see 2 legs there and then 2 legs here, that's still 2 legs down on a bigger picture. You know, you can still see that. It doesn't reach it here for a measured move, but it's still 2 legs down. They don't got to be measured. So, and then as soon as you get the 2 legs down on the big picture, you immediately get this reversal pattern back above the EMA, which of course I was making the video while this happened. But anyway, I gotta go. I hope this wasn't too rushed or anything. I definitely did not go over as much detail as I would usually like to do, but so yeah, let's see. This video is still it's still 18 minutes long. You know, maybe I went over more detail than I thought, because I was trying to make like a 7-minute video here. It ends up being 18. Either way, I'm not going to be late, so I'm just going to end this here, and I will see y'all in the next video.